Hello, Trim Fire here. I got a game for you today on Windstorm today. Unfortunately, I don't have XPM, so I'm gonna have to speak from my own perspective. So in Windstorm, you got two options: fight in the north and advance to flank, or burrow out in the south. So looking at my team now, I see I am the fastest. Well, apart from the 50B, I'm the fastest traditional heavy tank on the team. And I see on the enemy team there's the IS-7 and T-54, and I really don't want to go against them. And furthermore, I see the STI, and I think I probably should try and push south, well, push north really hard and see how my luck goes. So that's why I'm taking up the north one as well, north path as well. So in this replay, I want to show you how you should use the terrain to your advantage, and essentially how to use your tank to the best. So E5, 0.35 accuracy, 258 pen, 400 damage, very good pen, and alright alpha damage, but got a very fast punching gun. So initially I was kind of worried. I see there's many tanks coming along, tagging along in the south, but they seem to be getting distracted by the T-62A. So I just push forward with this trusty T-62A, our T-62A, and see what happens. So initially come up, I see a Tiger 2, easy target, upper plate, not really snapshot, but it's gonna go through its upper plate at any time, especially when it's looking down at me. And I think he probably has the top end on the Tiger 2's tank, so my gun is gonna beat his reload every time, it seems like. And with my angle, he's not gonna go in, and I finish him off, taking up the first kill. So seeing my path is unhindered, I'll push forward down here. And luckily, I see left A with barely any armor. You see how I angled my tank slightly to give myself a better chance at bouncing the T-28 prototype. And ooh, here who I've smartly dug back in because I don't want to go against three tanks. Why? And I'm really not sure what happened there. I thought that would went in. So pause a second. Why go against three tanks when you can only go against one? So you see me ducking behind this rock, and this outcrop here is gonna shoot me from the Object 263. Who knows that as well? So right now I'm just gonna wear it down and take my time to kill the T-28 prototype. And sorry about that, but I'm gonna beat your reload and kill you fairly easy every time. So he knows he's not got much of a chance, but can't blame him for try hard. So right now I could go forward and try my luck with the Leopard 1 or the Soviet TD, but I noticed that my friends are being halted by the at least two tanks, the T-54 and the Yakpanzerung E-100. So I climb over here, take a shot at the T-54, forcing him down, and I see I have the attention of the Yakpanzer E-100. So in the shot for the Cupola, with 0.35 accuracy on the E5, there's no problem shooting his Cupola. And about 100 meters, really no problem. So you see here, I once again use the terrain to shoot myself from this Yakpanzer E-100. Took a shot and luckily set him on fire. Right now the score is 6-3, it's looking pretty good. And the Leopard saw me ducking in there and he think I'm gonna go forward and maybe he would try to flank, but I'm afraid that might not do him very good. So right now, I'm approaching this very cautiously because I'm very afraid that the Object 263 might flank me here. So the Leopard, without any armor, he really should not be looking at me like this. Just a quick mention on this tier 10 American tank. Your Cupola's on the left, so ideally you want to attack from the right to hide the Cupola here. And luckily I have another lucky snapshot into the Leopard, who is taking a bit too long to retreat. Oh, and we spotted a scumbag. very unfortunate for the T62A. He got taken a big chunk out of his own health from the lucky RT, and then take a blank shot here, and that did not went in. Although the size of the Object 260 should be fairly easy, and right now he's looking right at me, and you see here I'm frantically trying to get down into this constellation here, so I can get into this dip here to hide myself from the Object 263, and I really did not foresee the ISC-152 to be laying ambush there. Maybe I should have gone with the Panzer II, but it seems like he still would be able to shoot at me. But it's too late now. I'm coming down. I must commit. And unfortunately, that did take out my gun. So that just means I have to aim a bit carefully. And luckily, it still went into the ISU. So right now, what most people would do is to advance and to try to tackle these two. But for advance, I got friends behind me, and you may not know there may be more defenders. And this T-34 is really focused on whatever he's focused on, and did not notice me putting a shot into his back. So back to my original point, T-57 STI was in town, and the I-7 would be very unfavorable as a game for me. So you see me using the excellent armor of the American heavy tank, giving only matured armor. And here I try to take a shot at the T-57 heavy, and with my gun I'm gonna go through his turret every time. So just finishing off the ISU, and the T-57 is doing the right thing to come back and defend, but I'll probably do is to flank the long way around, take a shot from me, and hopefully work with the Object 263 to flank around and hit me together. Because the Panther behind me is really not gonna be much use. He's only tier 8 and the medium as well. And my other allies are quite far away from me. But as being hypothetical here, we are having a 3-tank lead, and maybe they are worried about my other friends are maybe to coming and get him, because their IS-7 has fallen and they pretty much lost town right now. So the T-57 trying to look again, hitting my upper plate, I think, which is not gonna go in most of the time. So I'm continuing being very careful not to push over this hill, using the terrain to my advantage again. I mean, why go after them? I'm in a good position, I got friends, we even still have RT, which I'm kinda thankful for once. And Object 263 still looking at me, I'm not sure what RT is doing. And right here, without taking any damage, which I've successful so far, I don't need to. I earn spotting damage as well. That's good for me. I got that going for me. So right now the game's pretty much in the bag. I'm trying to see if I can get the final shot on the T-57 Heavy. And that wraps up the game. Let's go for some post-game stats. So, post-game stats. Unsurprisingly, I got high caliber from my almost 8,000 damage game, and Steel War medal, which I will talk about later. And it was my mastery badge again. Ace Tanker Mastery badge. So it was a very healthy 1,226 XP earned. So I gotta say I was really lucky on the Leopard 1, mostly blind shot, not blind shot, snapshots, but also due to the fact he has almost no armor. And I have to mention, I almost did the IS, almost single-handedly taking on the ISU and the T-28 prototype, also doing the most of the damage on the Tiger 2. looking at the XP screen, 8k damage, almost more than the combined damage of the next highest 3 players. And interestingly, if you look at the damage done by the enemy team, only up to the top 5 players, everyone else on the enemy team did better than the, than the players on our team. And I think as Quickie Baby or the Mighty Jingles mentioned, in a tier 10 game, if the top tiers can pour their own weight, they can greatly influence the outcome of the battle. Which is true if you remember, as I see on the screen here, I single-handedly taken on the ISU and the T28 prototype. So it is a tier 10 game, and I'm sorry about this. It is really bullying, but this is a tier 10 game, and even though there's more of you, I am still gonna have the upper hand because just I'm a tier 10 game. So looking at the detailed screen, 23 shots fired, 22 hit, and all of them penetrated. Not surprising with the E5's .35 accuracy and 258mm penetration. If you aim for weak spots, you generally will go in. And you might remember my Steel War medal. So getting hit 12 times, 3 penetrations. I think one of them was the ISU's HE shell. Now one of them I'm getting penned in the gun by the T28. Not sure who the last one is, but 9 shots bouncing almost 4,000 damage, and which is almost the double the amount of the HP I have. So showing where I demonstrated how you should use the terrain to the strong turret advantage of American heavy tanks. And looking back at the game, using the terrain to your advantage, and you might remember how I flanked the T-54 and the Jagdpanzer E-100. Instead of rushing the Leopard 1 and the Object 263, I read the situation and helped out my friends who were stopped by these especially the Jagdpanzer E-100, these very scary tanks. Destroy them and help them to push the line. So, reading the situation and using the terrain to your advantage, and using your tank to the best that you can. I hope you learned something useful today, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.